So in the 1960s, you had a lot of these anthology films where many directors would make segments, and some of them would be, like 8, 10 directors with 10-minute segments, and some of them would be like Spirits of the Dead, which has 3 directors directing 3 segments. These directors are Federico Fellini, Louis Malle, and Roger Vadim. I'm unsure. Roger Vadim's version, they're all adapted from short stories by Edgar Allan Poe. Roger Vadim's short is called Metzengerstein, and it's actually, I don't know that I've read this story, um, but it stars Jane Fonda as a countess who has inherited her entire family's fortune, and it's a lot of money in this land, and maybe it's medieval times. We're not really sure. The costumes are very mod late 60s with like thigh high boots and things, and her crazy Barbarella hair. But basically, she's inherited this money and she's torturing everybody and raising a cheetah and just basically having sex and killing things and eating a lot. And that's her life until she starts to have a thing for her cousin that her family's been feuding with. And this is where it gets a little weird because her cousin is played by Peter Fonda, her brother, and they're both kind of flirting with each other, but it's like they're brother and sister, and you know they're brother and sister, and you know you're watching it, and they're brother and sister, and they're playing cousins, but they're brother and sister, and it's a little weird. And then things get super weird from there because there's death and mayhem and Poe-isms, and then it ends, and you're like, what did I just watch? That's sort of the theme of today is what did I just watch? So it definitely captured the essence of a Poe story, but it was a little too, I think, opulent and a little too into Vadim's style of just modness to really fit for when it was supposed to be set. That said, the castle that they filmed in Brittany was gorgeous, so that's always fun. So the next segment is called William Wilson. This is Louis Malle's version, or segment. Contribution, that's the word I was looking for. This stars Alain Delon as William Wilson. He is a truly awful person who, as a child, was mean to all of his classmates until one day his doppelganger shows up, and then the rest of his life he continues to be mean to people, and every once in a while the doppelganger shows up. And then he is incredibly cruel to women, and the doppelganger is challenging him for his cruelness, and you're like, okay, so one of these doppelgangers is gonna die. But then you realize that like the doppelganger is actually just his like conscience, and if he kills his conscience, he's gonna kill himself because that's how that works. And so he kills doppelganger and himself. That's the plot. This one, I feel like this 2 days in a row that I haven't liked a Louis Malle thing. The sort of rape and torture of women was just really intense, and it felt completely unnecessary. There's other ways to show that people are awful than violence towards women. And Delon's really good, but I don't think the segment worked. The one part I liked was when he was face to face with the doppelganger. That worked. The rest of it, and Brigitte Bardot is one of the women, and she's in this really dark black wig, and she doesn't really get to do a lot. So that was, sort of coming off of the Jane Fonda segment that had such a strong, powerful female performance, and then coming into this very sort of misogynistic segment was rough. But that brings us to Fellini's segment, Toby Dammit, which was like, holy crap, amazing. Like, if the whole movie had just been Toby Dammit, it would be a 5-star movie. Phantasmagoria is the best word, I think, for it. It is one big swirling, like, champagne cocaine dream of a moment in the life of this actor named Toby Dammit. It's based on a book or a short story called "Don't Bet Your Head." Don't bet the devil your head, but it's very loose adaptation. He is a it boy, famous actor. He's coming to do a film in Rome, but really his star is on the wane because he has an alcohol problem and a drug problem. And as he lands, everything in the airport seems like he's in a carnival, but isn't any of it real, or is it does it seem heightened because he's on drugs? I don't know. Who knows? And then he goes from there to this. It's supposed to be the Italian Academy Awards, but they're like giving awards for like best boobs and things like that, and it's very I feel to me like very like potent criticism of the Italian film industry and Italian just entertainment industry. There's also a segment where he's on a talk show that is very very rough towards Italian talk shows. And then he ends up in the car that's supposed to be the car that he's being paid for to be on this Italian movie, and just that sequence, it's about 10 minutes of him just driving super fast, and it's intense, and you feel like you're driving with him, and you're, even though you know that when it cuts to you seeing him that it's green, not green screen, rear projection, you're still like, oh fuck, he's going way too fast. And then he comes face to face with his own innocence, and it's not going to end well. That sequence was 37 minutes that I could have lived in forever. It was just breathtaking, and I just love Fellini's humor. I love his taste. I love his style. I love the way he shoots films. Terence Stamp gives an amazing performance as an actor who has just indulged in too much, and he's a shell of a man at this point. Just fabulous. If the whole movie were as good as that last segment, it would have been a fucking great movie. But it's worth it to know that segment exists. So you can watch this on Criterion Channel. I don't know if it's on DVD or not. Toby Dammit itself, I think, is on its own on as well. So you can always just watch that part. But I recommend it, if only to get to that third segment, which is so good. One of the best things from Fellini that I think I've ever seen. So this was Spirits of the Dead, Roger Vadim, Louis Malle, and Federico Fellini, and I recommend the Fellini part at the very least.